To read or not to read, that is the question. Today on Film Music Mentor, this is Andrew Markus. To read or not to read a script, that's the question I'm going to address. Should a composer read a script? No, they shouldn't. And there's two main reasons. The first reason is a huge benefit to the filmmaker. The second reason is a huge benefit to the filmmaker and to the composer involved in this project. So why shouldn't I read a script? Now, at the risk of sounding uninterested or uninvolved in a project, the reason I don't like to read a script, and usually don't, except rare occasions, and it's usually because someone says, hey, can you read the script? I'm curious what you think. But the reason I don't like to read a script is when I see something for the first time, I have a reaction that's very similar to what an audience is going to have when they watch the film. And as a filmmaker or producer or director, you get to cash in on that. You get to see the composer reaction. You get to see how they react to things that you think are surprises or you hope are surprises, how they react to jokes, how they react to plot twists. I was doing a pilot sometime in the last 8 or 9 months or so, and when they were asking me about it, I said, I don't want to read a script. I don't like to read scripts. It ruins the surprise. And they respected that. And then when I sat watching the film with 2 producers and a director, there was this wonderful twist in the plot. And I yelled out, yes! I was so excited. I was so invested in their film as an audience member, not as a creative person, but as an audience member. And the director and the producers got to see that, you know, I guess pretty much what the pilot was hanging on worked. And had I read it, I may not know how it would play. And there is the assumption that I'm looking at it like an audience member would. You know, I'm going to look past color correction. I'm going to look past bad sound, especially if I'm going to go and fix it later on. But so these reactions are priceless to a filmmaker. They get to see what works and what doesn't with a trained creative eye that understands not to take certain things into account. And so because I have that reaction, I can make suggestions as to what happened on a gut level before I get too into it. You know, at this point, I think it could use this kind of music to enhance this idea or that idea or lead us astray, all the things we do with music. But you get this gut reaction that's so valuable, not only to the composer themselves, but to the filmmakers. Now, the thing that benefits the composer and the filmmakers is if I read a script, I'm reading it in my own tempo with, I'm going to hear the sound of the actors, or the characters rather, the character voices in my mind. I'm going to read at a certain pace. And it's not going to be the film that I end up with at my studio. And I'm the type of composer where I get ideas almost instantly when I watch something. Something gets in there, something starts to work. And whether they're used or not, the creative process starts immediately. So if I have all these ideas and preconceived notions after reading a script, and then time passes and they're just kind of pregnant and growing inside of my head, I have to go take the film that's the real deal, the real project, and then unlearn everything I came up with and start over. So it's it can be a little bit frustrating because the image of the film in my mind reading a script is almost never how it ends up being. Things go through so many changes in production, in casting, even before production, certainly in post-production and editing. So many changes are made and you realize things that work, that don't work. And so the final piece that we have does not resemble that script much at all. So another thing is John Williams had said, and I'm partially quoting him, he likes to receive a fine cut or a final cut so he can get the most pristine impression of the film possible. Jerry Goldsmith deceased but very well respected and incredible film composer of Planet of the Apes, The Omen, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, Patton. He did all these great movies. Um, he said the same thing. He doesn't like to read a script. He likes to just see the film. So the two reasons to not read a script is one, you get this incredible reaction from a professional, and you get to read their body language and their face, and hopefully they'll have an honest talk with you about it. And you also save the composer from having to do his job twice. Thanks. This is Film Music Mentor. I'm Andrew Markus. I'll see you next time.